I declare the congregation open. Members of the university, guests, and especially all of you graduating here today. My name is Alistair Burt. I'm the Pro-Chancellor of the university, and it's an enormous pleasure to be able to welcome you all here in person on what is a very special occasion. We're thrilled to be able to have this celebration, and it feels particularly special to be here to mark your achievements. If there's been a harder time to be a student in the modern era, I can't think of it. Many of you will have experienced A-level disruption, then COVID affected many different aspects of life, not least the university and collegiate life which would have been awaiting you here at Lancaster. Lancaster University is no island, and we've endured also the buffeting of international and national events and disruption which affect how higher education is seen and experienced. We're acutely conscious of such pressures upon our students from these different directions and do all we can to mitigate them. You've come through so much, so today is undoubtedly all about you. We're very aware that you may have had to overcome unprecedented challenges of your own to complete your degree. Your graduation is a testament to your own resilience and determination, and of course, the support from your tutors, families, and friends who I know will be feeling justifiably proud of you today. We're here to celebrate the achievements of our students from Pendle College. I know that your college has played an important part during your time here. The colleges are so important in providing support, a sense of community, social life, and helping to form lifelong friendships. Of course, they're also great for creating well-natured intercollegiate rivalry and competition too. So whether you're receiving an undergraduate degree today or a doctoral degree, I offer our most sincere congratulations. I would also like to make special mention of our honorary degree recipient, Paul Jones. I'm very pleased to welcome you to today's ceremony, and more of you later. Degree ceremonies, while formal occasions, are events to be enjoyed. So I would encourage you to applaud our graduates enthusiastically at appropriate times during the ceremony. Let me be clear, this is a license to you to make some noise. You're entitled to do so. This is a day of celebration, and I dare say for some of you that will extend well into the night. To friends and families in particular, think of what you've all been through in order to get them here. If that's not worth a whoop, then I don't know what is. There are no easy degrees at Lancaster. Every one has to be earned through commitment, dedication, and sheer hard work. So today we celebrate the fact that each of you has proven that you not only have the intelligence, but you have the resilience to rise to a challenge. Graduation ceremonies recognize the significant commitment that you've taken to your studies and your chosen field. The steps taken across this stage are symbolic of the hard work you've put in and the exciting new opportunities that await you. And just a word about that, enjoy the walk. Take your time. There's no need to hurry. So today marks the end of an era, but also a new beginning as an alum of Lancaster University. You're joining a community of thousands of Lancaster graduates from virtually every country in the world, a network which we hope will provide support, advice, and friendship throughout your lives. Please do keep in touch, and that's not a throwaway comment. We really do mean it, and it will matter to you in years to come. Look around you right now. Who will you cross the world to meet up with in the years to come? Because you will. It's nearly 50 years since I started at university. I know, who'd have believed it? And I would still go anywhere to meet my friends. Our students and graduates are amongst our finest ambassadors. Our hope is that wherever your future takes you, you will be able to represent your alma mater by becoming engaged in your local communities, helping us build our reputation as a world-leading institution and changing the world for the better. When and where will we hear about you again? Because we will. While you're doing that, we'll be working hard to keep up our end of the bargain and secure the enduring value of the qualification you've completed. Depending on your league table of choice, we're ranked within the top 10 or dozen or so out of 130 universities in the country. Lancaster is rising in international league tables too. We rose 22 places in the QS World University Rankings this year to be just outside the top 100 of 1,500 universities throughout the world, and our ambition is to break into that top 100. Recently, the results of the Research Excellence Framework were published. In this independent assessment of research quality and impact, 91% of our research was ranked world-leading or internationally excellent, and we outrank 8 of the Russell Group institutions. We're working hard to make our university more sustainable, with a giant wind turbine and planned solar farm, and rank amongst the top 10 in the UK on this measure. We're one of the highest producers of renewable energy out of all UK universities, and we're committed to becoming carbon neutral by 2035. Beyond that, our community is committed to tackling the climate emergency by embedding sustainability into all areas of university life, and many of our academics work on globally significant sustainability projects. Day to day, we're committed to evolving our working practices and environment to address the climate emergency from within, such as our plans to reduce new building on our campus with innovative use of hybrid working from lessons learned during the pandemic. Lancaster as a civic university has a firm commitment to our city and region. From the doctors in our hospitals to the brilliant energy of our spin-out companies, Lancaster University makes a huge impact. We're proud to be part of the team that's bringing the Eden Project to Morecambe and developing the Morecambe Bay curriculum, a unique community-created curriculum designed to equip children and young people with the skills to look after themselves and the planet, and of course to be the future students for Lancaster and elsewhere. Lancaster's strengths in research, teaching and investment in the student experience reflect our distinctive university community. Lancaster is and will remain a university that's open to the world. We have a network of overseas campuses in China, Germany, Ghana and Malaysia, in addition to our regional partnerships. Our campuses form a key part of our global community, with 1/3 of our undergraduate students studying overseas, supported with a strong mobility program to equip our graduates to become truly global citizens. At present, there are over 8,000 students studying for a Lancaster degree outside the UK. Here in Lancaster, we're particularly proud of the fact that we welcome students from 183 countries worldwide, and that our staff come from all parts of Europe and beyond, and Yorkshire. The rich diversity they provide on campus not only brings huge benefits educationally, it prepares our students for life in an increasingly global and connected society. Finally, let's return to you again. Success, in whatever form it takes, is inherently about people. Behind each successful individual is a team of family, friends, and colleagues working together to help us achieve our dreams and aspirations. On this special day, we should take a moment to recognize the contribution they've made. Their encouragement and support has, I'm sure, made a real difference at vital moments over the past few years. It is wonderful that so many of your friends and family can be here with us today. So let's show our appreciation of each other and those who've helped you get here. So today you join a special community. Like over 170,000 others, you're about to become alumni of this great university. Ours is a community that expresses the very best of today's world. High achievers, great thinkers, top leaders, all important, but also, we hope, people who care about those around them. People who are making a difference in communities, both local and global, in industry and in charity, in private companies and the public services. You come from different backgrounds and will end up living and working in very different locations. But in the end, you will all be part of a community bound together by one common history. So when you leave here, you will take something of Lancaster with you. Memories, of course, the friends you've made, the tutors you've met who've been so influential for you, the knowledge you've gained, what you've learned from your studies. But above all, I hope what you take away from Lancaster is what you've learned about yourselves. That if you persevere, it pays off. That if you follow your dreams, you can achieve great things. I was listening to Alex Ferguson the other day because he did one of these, and he left me with 3 ideas that I think are important to all of you. And they come from his life, where he's achieved much, but started in humble beginnings, and he speaks with great humility. He said, value yourself and your expectations, and those expectations that others have you. He said, learn from disappointments and make something of them. He spoke of the 5 cup finals he actually lost. And he said he'd been a better manager for every cup final that he'd lost. And finally, typically Fergie, he said, never, ever give up. It's one of life's ironies, of which there are many, that the apex of one achievement like today is at the same moment only the platform for the next. Each of you have proved that you have what it takes to make a success of life. That if you persevere, it pays off. That if you follow your dreams, you can rise to a higher level. So be of good courage. And in the world which you're entering, which is not easy and where you are going to make an impact, remember always to do what you can with what you've got where you are. Congratulations to all of you once again. I wish you all the best for the future, wherever life takes you. Thank you.
Please may all Pendle College graduates who have completed the following programmes stand. Master of Chemistry, Master of Physics, Master of Psychology, Master in Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Business Administration, and Bachelor of Engineering. Pro-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I present these members of Pendle College who have completed first degrees of the university. For the degree of Master of Chemistry, Oliver Middleton. For the degree of Master of Physics, Sasha Atiga Hall. Harrison Metcalf-Jones. Daniel Malaki Lek Morgan. Samuel Robert Morley. Peter Milroy Lamont. Max David Swain. Rosie Hannah Wilson. Abby Grace Barnard. For the degree of Master of Psychology, Aubrey Edward Coville. For the degree of Master in Science, Ofaiza Ahmed. Jack Benson Craner. Jutsi Dikanke. Dylan Andrew Fairclough. Blake Halliday. Oliver Jefferson. Marcus Johnson. George Leslie Limbert. George Jackson Daniel Lindsay. Thomas Harry Richard Litherland. Andrew Graham Ogden. Charlotte Ray Pollard. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Tajii Jason Boje. Alea Murphy Brown. Lucy Jane Eaton. Maya Ferrero de Nascimento. Adam David Gregson. Olivia Maria Konaska. Mackenzie John Lawton. Robert Lawrence Moffat. Mariana Murray Soares. Anna Mummery. Alexander Phillips. Laura Rebeo Manueco. Judith Sims. Henry James Scudder. Megan Layla Stevens. Vidney Serve. Sophie Louise Taylor. David Siamtes. Alexander Vladimirov. Maya Tara Wakefield. Sarah Jane Wiggins. Wing Ying Sarah Yi. For the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration, Alicia Frances Dawson. Adriana Christina Konzak. Leah Marilli. Victoria Nobrega Goncalves. Alexandra Maria Vladimiroff. Camille Marie Yo. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Simon William Buckley. Sim Din Bibi. Daniel Epstein. Jacob Paul Huggins. Arvind Singh Lally. William Lancaster. Abdul Afiq Omar. Danielle Shahid. Please may all Pendle College graduates who have completed the following programmes stand: Master of Chemistry, Master of Physics, Master of Psychology, Master in Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Business Administration and Bachelor of Engineering.
By my authority as Pro-Chancellor, I confer upon these members of Pendle College the degrees for which they have been presented. Many congratulations.
Pro-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I here present to you Dr. Paul Jones for conferral of the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Dr. Jones is a world-renowned technologist and digital innovator and is Chief Digital Information Officer at the Leeds Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust. He has held senior roles across the public and private sector, including as Chief Technology Officer for the NHS in England and as Group Chief Information Officer of Serco, a leading provider of public services. Prior to his contributions to public health that we celebrate here today, Paul has also worked in software and consultancy roles, working with companies such as Disney, Santander and Barclays. He has a BSc and a PhD in computer science from Lancaster University and is a fellow of the British Computer Society and a chartered IT professional. In addition to his role at Leeds, Paul is also Chief Information Officer for the West Yorkshire Integrated Care Board, supporting the drive to join up health and care services and to reduce health inequalities through better use of digital technologies at a regional level. Some of you here today will be wondering, what is a Chief Technology Officer? Whilst others amongst you will have worked with people in roles like Paul's, or indeed you may have similar responsibilities yourself. The fact that perhaps just 10 years ago such roles didn't exist is testament to pioneers like Paul and also to the staggering speed with which large organisations have had to change, not only to integrate the benefits that technology has brought to these organisations, but also to ensure that those benefits are understood and that mistakes aren't made. As a student at Lancaster, Paul was a keen member of a radio bail rig, becoming station director, and he was also, I understand, a regular in File Bar. Following his PhD at Lancaster, he spent a brief period as an aspiring academic, but, by his own admission, learnt quickly that this path was not for him. An altruistic desire to make a valuable contribution caused him to engage with what was, at the time, a rather maligned and problematic digital healthcare system, and which was stuttering in its appeal to a complex diversity of requirements. In this regard, connecting with digital services today is easy to take for granted. We arrange everything from a holiday in the sun through to important and urgent preventative medical procedures, often from the comfort of our own smartphones. However, back in 2005, the situation was very different. Not only was the nature of the laptop or smartphone still evolving, but also, and very importantly, the way in which access to information ought to be managed, its governance, and understanding how best to share it was not understood. Even the format of the source information. In the case of health, this might mean patients' notes, referrals, prescriptions, etc., needed to migrate to a form that met the needs of clinicians and patients, whilst ensuring that this precious information is appropriately safeguarded. In 2005, Paul decided to join the NHS National Programme for IT and became the Chief Technology Officer for the NHS in England, leading £2 billion projects. He was also responsible for the live service of the national systems, the technical design of all of the components of the programme, and he led clinical coding teams who managed the national data standards. At this time, in 2009, was the now seemingly minor swine flu pandemic. Paul led the team developing the national online antiviral prescribing system that was used to deliver the Tamiflu drug to millions of citizens without the need to visit a GP. Also during this time, it was necessary to change the mindset across much of the NHS concerning the importance of IT in modern healthcare to deliver the N3, this being the wide area network connecting the NHS and the core services on the NHS spine to allow greater sharing of information across the NHS and to provide support for the swine flu pandemic, including attendance and support at Cobra during that national emergency. At Leeds, Paul's team of 450 digital and information professionals supports 22,000 staff who each year support 195,000 inpatients, 1.1 million outpatients, 230,000 A&E attendances, and for example, 8,700 babies delivered and 270 transplants. Over 3 years, his team has transformed digital services at the Trust to make them more robust, easier to use, more accessible, and largely paperless. This has involved ensuring that IT services work when needed, such that IT is now intrinsic to much of the care delivered across the hospital, whilst recognising that there is still much to do. During the early days of the COVID pandemic, it was necessary to change the ways IT was used at the Trust fundamentally. The Trust transitioned from 80 out of 22,000 staff working remotely to thousands needing to do so. They also had to remove existing paper flows from the hospital. This was already in plan, but was scheduled originally as a 2 to 3 year project. The infection control imperative of COVID resulted in this being completed in about 8 weeks. Paul's team were also involved in setting up the Harrogate Nightingale Hospital, which included a temporary morgue in anticipation of the desperate implications of the COVID outbreak. Thankfully, this temporary hospital and its facilities were not needed for inpatients, but once again, the effort and flexibility from his team to organise and deliver a working hospital with network, telephones, ordering systems for COVID tests and delivery of the results from those tests was a staggering achievement and is something that Paul is rightly proud to have played a leading part. Dr. Jones is without doubt a technological innovator and visionary. He is one of the architects of the virtual environment on which we depend to go about our daily lives, and he is a leader of teams that have proven to be essential when communities are required to respond to unexpected and unparalleled adversity. Pro-Chancellor, it is my particular privilege to present to you, on behalf of the Senate, Dr. Paul Jones for conferral of the degree of Doctor of Science, Honoris Causa.
Many congratulations. Thank you very Congratulations, Paul. Lovely set of... Fantastic. Thank you, Paul.
Pro-Chancellor, fellow members of the university, honoured guests, I want to thank Professor Joyce for those very kind words. But first things first, congratulations to all of you graduating today. You should be incredibly proud of what you've achieved. I'm absolutely honoured to receive this award today. Lancaster has a very special place in my heart. As well as completing my undergraduate and postgraduate degrees here, I met Ruth, my wife, and I made lots of long-lasting friendships that I still value today. And I'm stood here thinking, how on earth did I end up here? When I was sat where you are, quite a few years ago, I never imagined I would be given such a reward, and this has made me reflect on my career and on my journey. And there are a couple of important decisions I've made in my time since leaving Lancaster, and I just want to share those decisions with you. The first was very early in my career. I'd done a PhD. I thought at some point I would actually be sat on a stage like this, an esteemed academic. I got a role as a lecturer at a university. I was rubbish. And I don't mean a bit bad, I was rubbish, and if any of my students hear this, I'm really sorry. It turns out I don't really have the creativity for the research that these people do. I don't have the imagination to make the teaching side engaging. But that was what I wanted to do. I'd been aiming to be an academic for about 5 years, and I got there. And that was the first decision was, well, it's not working, I need to change. I need to go and find something else to do where my skills are going to be useful, and I'm going to feel like I'm doing a good job. So I made a change. I started working with organisations to solve business problems using technology. And it turned out I wasn't bad at that. And it turns out that when you're looking at those problems, when you're working, as I do today, in a hospital, trying to simplify the problems, what's important, not looking at all of the different nuances that you have to do if you're thinking about research. So my original career plan was hopeless. But that's okay. Realising that, finding something else, moving on, was a really important decision. The next decision I made was some years later, and Professor Joyce alluded to this. There was a huge programme to digitise the National Health Service. It was in the newspapers, it was on the radio, it was on the TV, almost every day, about what a complete and utter disaster it was. It was a waste of money, it wasn't going to do anything, it was terrible. So I joined it. I remember thinking at the time, I could sit on the side and criticise, or I could roll my sleeves up and see if I could make a difference. That decision to join the National Health Service as the Chief Technology Officer for the NHS in England has shaped my career since. Dealing with that situation taught me an awful lot. Now, when people think about IT and health, and again, Professor Joyce touched on some of this, we think about AI and we think about decision support systems, and yes, but actually you make the biggest difference across a health system like the NHS with some simpler things. Being able to share your allergies and your medications with the next clinician, allowing a radiologist to share the image with a colleague in another trust without having to put it in the post. Even just making the systems reliable so that our frontline clinical staff know that they're going to be there, know they're going to be working, and they can be used as part of the care process. Those are what make the difference across IT in the NHS. Is there anything you can take from my experiences? Maybe not for most of you. But if a few of you end out in the next few years in a role that you wanted to do, but it's not quite working out, Remember that old guy on the stage? Maybe have a look at something else. It might work out better. And if you see a challenging situation, either in the organisation you're in or as an opportunity, maybe it's in the public sector, maybe it's quite smelly, don't be frightened of it. Think about it, can you help? Is it time for one or two of you to roll your sleeves up and go and tackle those big challenges? I hope so. Working in health, and especially in the National Health Service, has given my career a purpose and a value I never imagined when I sat in this hall 33 years ago. I'm fortunate to have had the opportunities I've had, none of which would have happened without the grounding, the experiences and the education I received here at Lancaster University. My wish for you all graduating today is that you have as much enjoyment and fulfilment in your career as I've had. Enjoy your day. You've all earned it. Thank you very much.
Please may all Pendle College graduates who have completed a Bachelor of Science programme stand. Pro-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I present these members of Pendle College who have completed first degrees of the university. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, Ayub Ahmed Abdi Sarif. Thomas Ace. Daniel Ames. Oluwafumi Ali. Eliza Amazuki. Ben Anastasi. Yangming Ao. Annie Ashworth. Sal Edward Baker. Imasha Savindi Bandarayuke. Ellie Barker. Fernando Gabriel Barón. Alana Leah Beat. Louis Beaumont. Joshua Beckett. Abigail Louise Bidder. Amien Johari bin Ahmed Jafar. Mohammed Hariz Haziq bin Mohammed Hasni. Caterina Maria Bonifacio Mateos. Catherine Bontemps. Don Carlo Andrade Brett. Corbin Brown. Phoebe Brown. George James Burbidge. Z. Guy. Lucy Susan Barker. Ben Cakebread. Theodore Candria. Sarah Isabel Carpenter. Alvaro Carrasco Sanchez. Aaron Paul Carter. Raul Andrei Kazaku. Manuel Gassman. Han Chen. Mark Victory Takanwada Chiamayo. Harry Clifton. Alexander Lloyd Coolman Roberts. Benjamin James Crane. Julia Ianova Cumberland. Alexander Dabrowska. Ben Davies. Alistair Denton. Peter Deministu. Ashley Rees-Dixon. Jinquan Du. Isabella May Dugdale. Matthew James Durman. Jodie Charlotte Edwards. Nora Eladini. Cheryl Min Lee Eng. Deborah Etheridge. Robert Edward John Evans. Samuel Evans. Oscar George Fenton. Laura Fishbacker. Robert Daniel Folks. Louis Franklin Russell. Wing Yong Fong. Catherine Gale. Lucy Francis Gamby. Yanao Gao. Jian Gao. Ruby Sarah Ella Garrigan. Lapsam Gi. Robin Paul Gibbs. Louis Anthony Gibson. Shua Giga. Merlin Gildaley. Sebastian Zakaria Daniel Gosling. Olivia Green. Lydia Gregoriade. Mohammed Azizan bin Haj Mohammed Anas. Kate Ann Hardy. Lincoln Kingsley Harrison. Hanako Ashiba Charlton. Miranda Percy Hayes. William Lawhin Hayes. Daniel Hayden Edward Hopper. Leah Hoop. Sylvia Huang. Ying Huang. Holly Hughes. James David Christopher Hines. Holly Ingledew. Melania Stefania Ionica. Kamila Jablonska. Valentin Ivaganov. Rokas Jelinkas. Eliva Jasesivut. Daniel Robert Jones. Donatas Katera. Wengzi Yang. Shah Khan. Jazid Khan. Elizabeth Marguerite Killas. Henry Knowles. Michal Marek Kwianowski. Florin Lactus. Q Lam Justin Lai. Ho Ching Lao. Patrick Ching Hoi Lao. Oliver Lawton. Jack Blake. Robert Morgan Lane. Elizabeth Wing Yang Lee. James Adam Levine. Yang Ying Lee. Goncalo Lima Rivero Esperega Texera. Dawid Artur Lipinski. William Liza. Lok Yin Lu. Yo Lo. Yuan Kang Ma. Alina Ivanova Makovey. Alex Oliva Major. Ray Theodore Manalosh. Georgia May Mansell. Hadi Haytham Mohammed Mazuri. Riley McDonough. Mohammed Mahood. Inman Sigmas Mendros. Elliot Mills. Callum Anthony Mitchell Larkin. Magdalena Dimitrova Mativa. Alexandra Sashova Mladenova. Rebecca Mary Morin. Joseph Richard Morton. Adrian Munoz Trocoli. Mohammed Omar Musa. Gloria Zoe Nagy. Catalina Oganova. Kwame Ofori. Alfonso Oliveira de Almeida. Eleanor Francis Osorio. Mohammed Siddiq Patel. Emma Pazeli Talai. Zishan Peng. Vladimir Vladimirov Petrov. Tiffany Mariam Patish Shafari. Joseph Pistols. Sophia Alicia Robles Cascada. Olivia Quinn. Sophie Rain. Agni Ramanuskato. Jessica Ann Ratcliffe. Rodrigo Emmanuel Reis Ferreira. Diogo Ribeiro Cento. Kian Richardson. Oliver Riley. Kate Hannah Ritchie. Luca Rossignol. Lucy Eloise Rushton. Chanja Shao. Inez Juliet Sharp. Ethan Shaw. Michael Slavin. Harry Smith. William Edward Smith. Adam Slakai. Richard Oliver Jack Tanner Smith. George Henry Taylor. David Patrick Themes de Haight. Megan Brooke Thoburn. Drew Frederick Thompson. Grace Xiao Wei Chiu. Mikhail Marios Timotheo. Xing Chung Tong. Hannah Toth. Noor Ul Hassan. Owen Luke Nigwen. Edgar Vega Rian. Beatrice Veloso Fiera. Catherine Alice Best. Li Han Wang. Maya Rose Wormsley Walker. Tegan Jade Williams. Michal Witowski. Danica Hoi Cheng Wong. Maisie Wong. Si Ying Wong. Wei Sun Wong. Yuan Hai Wong. Joshua John Woolley. Emma Sophie Wright. Peng Yu Wu. Ivan Yung. Hoi Yang Yin. Lam Yip. Xing Lam Yu. Tristan Yu. Gonzalo Zabala. Mohammed Asfer Zawala. Ye Yuan Zhang. Ericus Libutas. Rimaz Osama Hassan Kinatabu. Ju Hee Ko. Yuan Yang Kang. Timothy Ho. Jaihu Wu. Thomas Adler. For the posthumous award of Bachelor of Science, Vanilla Hawes. Please, may all Pendle College graduates who have completed a Bachelor of Science programme stand.
By my authority as Pro-Chancellor, I confer upon these members of Pendle College the degrees for which they have been presented. Many congratulations. I think we've had an excellent morning. Thank you for not letting me down in relation to the noise. Well done, all family and friends, and I hope everyone here feels properly appreciated and you can appreciate those who stood beside you to make sure you got here. And an inspiring address and lessons learned from life from Paul, so thank you very much indeed. I now declare closed the congregation of the University of Lancaster. Long may our university prosper.